going to go. Janice Burke from the Houston Sports Commission will open at exactly 11:30. And at 11:30, we go live. That camera is live streaming. We already have about 4,000 people that are waiting for it to start, which is kind of cool. But what I ask is that if you can just stay seated during the whole press conference and not walk in front of that important camera, that would be amazing. Then we will have our new team president come and address the group. Then Oliver Luck will come up and say a few words, and then he'll introduce the coach. Once the coach is done, we will come and remove this podium, and any media that wants to do any interviews, we're going to stage everything right up here. Okay, so we'll be going in, anything else? Okay, good. So again, thanks for coming, and we'll get started in about 45 seconds.
This morning, but either way, welcome to Houston, and we have a special announcement. I couldn't think of two better hires, and it's going to be exciting to kick this off. And I always say that Houston is a huge sports town. We're the most diverse city in America, and because of that, we just have these avid sports fans for every type of sports we bring here. And it's exciting. We couldn't think of better partners than the University of Houston. They have been terrific from the beginning when we first started bidding for this and wanting to be a host city. And so I look forward to announcing now Brian Michael Cooper to come up and say a few words and welcome him to Houston.
Janice, thank you very much for the introduction. I'm excited and honored to be helping Coach shepherd in a new era of XFL football here in Houston. It's the greatest city, the greatest football fans on the planet. I want to thank Mr. McMahon, XFL Commissioner Oliver Luck, and XFL President Jeffrey Pollock for this amazing opportunity. I want to thank my wife Jacqueline and my daughter Kendall for their unwavering support. And I also want to send thanks to our community partners, Mayor Turner, County Judge Hidalgo, Janice Burke and her team at the Sports Authority, Chris Pesman, David Taccarino, and their team here at U of H. These are incredibly talented people who are going to help us do some really exciting things. My goal is to build an organization that becomes indispensable to the community. And that means a couple of things. First, it means contributing to Houston's economy and creating new jobs and generating new revenue. But it also means working every hour and every day to deliver a fun, accessible, affordable product for the fans and give the fans a role in building a great thing here, something special. Now, as we roll up our sleeves to work to earn the city's trust, our actions will demonstrate how we prioritize this community. With your support, I'm certain we are going to be victorious both on and off the field come February 2020. We look forward to partnering with you and reimagining football here in Houston. And now, it's my privilege to introduce a man who needs no introduction in this city and each town. From his time with the Oilers, leading the Sports Authority, and being president of the Dynamo. And he's been working for the past year very hard on the launch of the XFL. I introduce you to XFL Commissioner and CEO, Oliver Luck.
Good morning. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Janice. Appreciate all of you being here. For all of those who are watching online, thank you for tuning in. I see a lot of very familiar faces here and I'm excited to be here, obviously. Brian is the most recent of our 5 team presidents. Many of you may know him from his time with the Rockets G League franchise, the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Some of you may know him from his time at Rice University as associate athletic director, so we're delighted to have Brian lead our effort here in Houston. Most recently, he's worked as a partner at Lewis Brisbois, which is a law firm specializing in entertainment, media, and sports law. It's been about 16 months since Vince McMahon, the renowned entrepreneur and visionary founder of the XFL, since Vince announced that the XFL would be relaunched in 2020, a reimagined game with a focus on delivering great football and putting fans first. We are as committed to the launch of this league today as Vince was that day 16 months ago. We've got a solid business plan, the financial backing to ensure long-term success, and a long enough runway to plan, test, and do things right. We recently announced that we'll be working with Elevate Sports Ventures to guide and support our ticket sales of each of our 8 franchises. Some of you may know Elevate's a joint venture that includes some of the best brands in the sports and entertainment industry: the San Francisco 49ers, Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment, Ticketmaster, Live Nation, and the Oakview Group. We're proud to welcome Elevate to the XFL family, and we're proud to say that Elevate sees our league's immense potential. 2 weeks ago, we unveiled where our games will air on television, announcing multi-year agreements with ABC, ESPN, and Fox Sports. XFL games will air weekly on broadcast television, ABC and Fox, complemented by games on fully distributed cable, FS1 and ESPN. The XFL TV schedule allows for consistent appointment viewing each week with back-to-back games starting Saturday afternoon, as well as 2 additional games on Sunday. We're thrilled to partner with ESPN and Fox and ABC, incredibly innovative media companies with extensive experience in world-class football production that will undoubtedly help us reimagine the game. The schedule we've developed provides the league with incredible reach and makes it easy for fans to watch our games consistently every weekend. Over the past several months, we've spent a lot of time fulfilling our commitment to reimagine football. That's what Vince asked of me when I joined this past summer. And in the spirit of collaboration, our broadcast partners recently sent senior production and technical personnel to Austin, where we tested in real-time game situations, rule adjustments that we have under consideration. The goal, I think, as everybody here knows, is an up-tempo, fast-paced game, fewer stoppages, fewer delays, lots of scoring, a reimagined game. In addition to testing with new rules and making important executive hires at the league level and at the team level, we've hired some terrific head coaches. Kevin Gilbride in New York, Pep Hamilton in Washington, D.C., Jonathan Hayes in St. Louis, Winston Moss in Los Angeles, Bob Stoops up the road in Dallas, Mark Trestman in Tampa Bay, and Jim Zorn, the legendary Seahawks quarterback in Seattle. And of course, a man that we'll soon get to know belongs in that great group of coaches. And last week we started to extend invitations to the 8 summer showcases we are hosting in each of our 8 cities. The summer showcases are our own twist on the combine, and we'll be essentially working out former NFL players, top free agents over the course of a day, one day in each of our markets. XFL coaches and scouts will be on site evaluating the players as they run combine drills and perform on-field workouts. Also, college athletes can attend to get worked out by XFL coaches and staff without their college eligibility being jeopardized. There's still a lot of work ahead of us. We're taking everything step by step in a very methodical manner, and we'll be ready to go in February of 2020 with the XFL. So now, for the reason we've asked everyone to come out today, a key priority for me and for my football staff has been to identify experienced coaches who embrace our mission to reimagine football, who want to play fast, coaches who aren't afraid to innovate and think on the fly. We also wanted to find coaches who are up for the unique challenge of selecting every player on the roster, literally building the team from the ground up. We are certain that we found the right man for the XFL right here in Houston, Texas. Before embarking on a coaching career that's lasted well over 3 decades, He played quarterback in the pros for 5 years with the NFL's Atlanta Falcons and the Toronto Argonauts of the CFL. As a player, he joined the Falcons as an undrafted free agent out of Portland State University, where he earned All-America honors and led the nation in passing and total offense. Once his playing days were over, his coaching career began, and it's included 2 stops as an assistant here in Houston. In 1984, which coincided with my time as a backup for the Oilers, he was a wide receivers coach for the Houston Gamblers. Listen to this lineup: Gerald McNeil, Ricky Sanders, Richard Johnson, Clarence Verdun. Some unbelievable talent that he coached with the Houston Gamblers of the USFL. In 87 and 88, he returned to Houston, but this time as a quarterback coach for the Oilers. I missed him just by a year. My last season was 86. But I know from my conversations with Warren Moon and other players of that era, they absolutely loved this individual. He's been more than an assistant coach, of course. He's had coaching positions at Southern Methodist, University of Hawaii, the NFL San Diego Chargers, the Atlanta Falcons, and most recently the Hamilton Tiger Cats of the CFL. And as a coach at the professional level, he's worked with Hall of Fame quarterbacks Brett Favre, Warren Moon, and Jim Kelly. The experience that he's gained at every stop along his 40-year journey as a player and a coach will no doubt serve him well as he helps us reimagine the game and builds our team into something very special. So now it is with tremendous pride that I introduce the XFL's 8th and final head coach and general manager, the man who will lead the Houston team, June Jones.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Oliver. I want to thank everybody that came here today. I haven't seen all the faces yet, but I'm sure I recognize many that are older than me that are still doing what they do. So I appreciate that. I'm thankful to the University of Houston for their commitment to excellence also. I've blown away by what you've built here since I was at SMU in just a short time. It's been, I'm anxious to walk through it. I remember when you built the indoor over here, so it's pretty fun to see this happen in a great football town. I'd like to take just a second with Memorial Day coming up, a couple of my friends here came today, and I'd like to introduce a couple of them in particular. And that is the U.S. Navy SEAL Commander, and where are we? Okay, over here. Mark McGinnis is a good friend, and Rick Jocelyn, 2 Navy SEALs. Mark had over 450 or 440. He's, you know, he knows what to do, but never lost a guy, never lost a man. Thanks for coming. Friendship for a long time, and that goes without saying to the other faces that are familiar here. You know, having lived here, my daughter went to Dulles High School, and we spent 5 years here with the Gamblers and the Oilers. I'm really excited about this opportunity. It reminds me a little bit of the USFL, and as we started talking, Oliver and I, about some of the things that the head coaches are going to do here is finding players again. And you know, that excites me more than anything else, is finding the Ricky Sanders, finding the players that are overlooked, that can execute and play in the offense that I have, and giving them an opportunity to show what they can do. So that's really a fun deal for me to be full circle right back here in this town. You know, just a couple comments on the fellow coaches. It's been kind of fun to follow this. Kevin Gilbride, who that name is familiar here also, replaced me with the Oilers, and I recommended him for that job. Of course, he went on and got Super Bowl rings. And excited for him. I've been talking to Heath. I've been talking to Mark Trestman, who we competed against. I've known Mark. Mark was, when I was in the NFL, he got in the NFL at the same time, and Kim Helton, who is a tight end right here at the University of Houston too, told me about this guy, Mark Trestman. You got to meet him. And so he was at Steelers when I was at the Oilers. I went to the Lions. He went to Minnesota. So we competed against each other forever. But I finally got to really get to know him and what he was about the last year and a half being in Canada with him. And so that's a pleasure for me to be here. The other guys I competed against, you know, the other head coaches I competed against in the NFL, Winston and Pep, and then also Bob Stoops I followed because he runs a wide open offense, so I always followed him. And of course, Hal Mummy's on his staff who coached with me and is going to be his offensive coordinator, and I coached against Hal. And that Dallas-Houston rivalry will take on a new look, but it'll still be big, I can tell you that. So I'm excited about that part of it. You know, the thing that somebody asked me, you know, why are you jumping down here? And it was a very hard decision for me because I love my time in Canada. It's a wide open game, which we're looking at and adopting some of those rules that make that game a little bit upper tempo pace. I'm excited about that because Mark and I are probably the only ones that are familiar with those rules, so I think we got maybe a little bit of an edge, and that's fun. And at the same time, you know, I have coached a bunch of different places. I've been a lot of different places, but this place right here kind of is just special to me, and it's hard to believe that I come full circle from my first pro coaching job to right now to be back in this city, and that's really, really awesome. And so with that said, you know, it was a hard decision, as I said, to come, but I remember watching the thing that triggered me. I've been following the XFL for 2.5, 3 years, but the thing that really triggered me was watching the last 3 minutes of the 30 for 30. That I don't even know when it was done, but I happened to watch it. And I watched the conversation between Vince and I think Dick Ebersol at that time. And I could see it in his eyes that he was going to make this work. And I'm excited to be a part of that. He's obviously a genie-eyed marketing guy and knows how to get things done. So I think the city of Houston, myself, my fellow coaches, are going to be just have an unbelievable great time with developing this further. So with that, I know that probably answer most of your questions as we do it individually. If you want to, I'll be here. I'll stay as long as I can. Good to see you guys. Oh, you have one question?
I do have one question. You've always run the run and shoot. What kind of offense do you run now?
Well, I'd say a hybrid. The question was, I've always kind of tied myself to Mouse's offense, which I still do. Probably 3/4 of what we do is originally from Mouse. But I had the awesome chance in Hawaii to spend really the last 10 years with Bill Walsh. Really, when he was out of football, he would come and spend a month and a half. And we talked football all the time. And so I would bring him up to my meetings and stuff, and I sat with him, had the opportunity to sit with him. And he kind of tweaked some things and said, maybe you try this. And of course, the rest of it is really, to be quite honest, a lot of Bill's stuff. And then the tempo part of it, you know, you have to adjust to, which I really relied on, to be quite honest. Jeremiah Mazzoli, who was my quarterback, and Dan Morrison, who's been my quarterback coach at SMU and Hawaii both, they kind of put together a tempo package that we could use also. So that's kind of what we're going to do. All right, you want me to do these here, or just say aloha? Okay. Thank you, Steph, for the lei, and that was a very nice touch, and I'll look forward to chatting with all of you and spending a lot of time. Thank you.